Now, over the past week, millions of people have already poured countless hours into Destiny 2, which for me personally has been one of my favourite games of the year so far. With so much content to get stuck into and so many things to do, it's just difficult to imagine getting bored. But Destiny for me has always been about the endgame content, the raids, the nightfall, and obviously the loot. So in this video, I'm going to give you some tips to help you out for when you've reached level 20 to give you the best possible chance of becoming the best Destiny player that you can be. Now, the first thing that's going to be in everyone's mind when you finally manage to reach level 20 is what is the fastest possible way of me raising my power level from around 200, which is where you'll be once you finish the main story, to 270 so that you're ready for the raid. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is talk to everyone in the tower. Doing this is going to get you an exotic engram that's above 210 power, as well as a couple legendaries to give you a really nice start, so it's definitely worth doing and won't take you any time at all. So just make sure you go ahead and do that, and if you're unsure who you need to speak to, just take a look at your director and they'll be highlighted on the map. My next big tip for you after speaking to everyone in the tower is to get a couple friends together to help make the Destiny grind that little bit easier, as having a fire team is going to allow you to go from around 200 power to 270 power so much faster than if you were just playing alone. And if I'm honest, you'll all start to get into a really nice rhythm where you'll find yourself getting loot very, very quickly. So if you need to find some other players to do this with, I would recommend joining a clan like the Xbox On clan, which I'll leave a link to down in the description below, because honestly, playing with a couple friends is what I found to help me gear up so much quicker, and it's also a lot of fun. Now, once you've talked to everyone at the tower and got all the loot that you can get your hands on there, and also hopefully got a couple of your friends to join your fire team, you're going to want to be going back into the world. Now, public events are hands down one of the best and fastest ways to gear up early on, especially if you make sure that you're activating the heroic versions of the events, which is another reason being in a fire team is going to help you out so much, as if I'm honest, it's very unlikely you'll be able to do heroics by yourself. So in order to be as effective as possible doing public events, keep checking your map through the director and head over to the public event that starts in the shortest amount of time. There's plenty of locations that you can fast travel to on every single world, so it's really easy to get around, especially with your Sparrow that you'll have gotten at level 20. Also, while doing the events, make sure you're paying attention on what you need to do to activate the heroic versions so you're getting the most loot possible every single time. Now, between around 200 to around 240 power, I just recommend staying on the planets doing public events and killing high value targets that appear, which you'll know when they're nearby, as it'll say high value target is near on the bottom left of your screen. And it's definitely worth quickly killing these as and when you can between public events, as they do drop another chest for you to loot, which is only going to help increase your power level. My next tip is to do with engrams that you'll find while doing public events and killing high value targets, because you may remember back in the original Destiny you tended to hoard engrams for as long as possible and then do them all at once with the Cryptarch back at the tower. However, in Destiny 2, whenever you get a batch of engrams, it's worth just opening them up straight away to raise your power level. Now that's because how engrams work has completely changed, as they now get a fixed power rating at the time the engram is dropped, which means that when you decrypt them, it's no longer based on your current power level, but the power level you were when the engram dropped. So there's sadly no point stocking them all up, as doing so is only going to slow the leveling process down. Now, once you've got a little bit higher power level, I'd recommend getting your fire team together and just blitz as many adventures as you possibly can. Try to save these for a little bit later on, as I found I got some really good loot from doing so. Try not to do these before you're level 20, as you're wasting some really good loot opportunities, and there's only around 30 for you to do across all 4 planets. Now, one of the new features within Destiny 2 is challenges for completing things within strikes, patrols, and the Crucible, but make sure you're trying to complete as many of these as possible without slowing down, as you do get extra rewards including planet tokens for you to spend on extra gear to help boost your power level as quickly as possible. Another thing that you're going to want to be doing is dismantling everything that you don't need to get weapon parts, because you can trade weapon parts to Banshee at the tower, and when you hand enough in, you'll level up your reputation and be given a legendary weapon engram, which is going to help you get that little bit closer to being raid ready, as well as having an awesome weapon to use. Now, planet tokens are without doubt one of the best ways of leveling up your power, and you get them for doing almost anything on a planet, whether that's completing a public event, finishing a lost sector, or completing planet challenges. But one of the biggest tips that I can give you is make sure you don't spend any of them until later on, because when you use them to level yourself up with the planet's vendor, you're rewarded with legendary loot, which will be an item within 5 levels of your current power level. So the higher level you are, the better loot that you're going to get from these planet vendors, which is why it's worth saving them up until you get to around 240 power when things start to get a little bit slower. Which is another reason why I've been telling you, rather than spending your time getting better gear in the Crucible, completing strikes and so on, just do public events, adventures, lost sectors, and killing high value targets, as it's going to help you get as many planet tokens as possible, which in the long run is going to help you with that final sprint to get 270 power, so you can do the first Destiny 2 raid. But those are just some tips to work on getting your power level as high as possible. Of course, you can also get involved with the Crucible, do strikes, and when you can do the Nightfall, make sure to do that as well, as they're all going to help you in leveling up. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to subscribe if you're new, drop a thumbs up, as well as share any of your own tips down in the comments below, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye!